So I wanted to hop on real quick and share something as far as learning how to use the scale in the right way, because I've found that obviously weight loss is the goal for majority of people that walk inside of a gym, or they care about their weight in some form or fashion, typically. So normally when it comes to the scale, somebody will hop on the scale, you get your reading or whatever, and then you come up with a number that you want to lose. So here, I started off with the person being 250 pounds. So what I've found is that the best way to use the scale is to have a system in place for how you actually take your weight and then look to see if you're making progress. So what I like to do is I tell people to pick at least 3 days out of the week that are non-consecutive. So I think Monday, Wednesday, and then one day on the weekend is great. And basically you get your readings for that week and then you take the average of that week, right? And typically losing anywhere between around 1% to 2% of your body weight is typically good weight loss per week. When you start creeping past 2%, it kind of starts creeping more towards you burning muscle more. And when you're in a weight loss phase or fat loss phase, the goal is to try to maintain as much muscle mass as possible. So starting here, I just picked a random number. You have somebody that comes in at week 1, they weigh 250 pounds on Monday. They weigh on Wednesday, they're 248, and then Saturday, they're 247. So the average comes out to be 248.3, which is roughly around 1% of their total weight that they lost. So the following week, they hop on the scale on Monday, they're 248, so they're a pound over, which typically happens a lot of times when you're starting, not a big deal. Wednesday, they're 245, and then Saturday, they're 245. So the average comes out to be 246. Again, we're still roughly around 1% of the total body weight. Week 3, they come in, they're a pound over again, not a huge deal. Wednesday, 243, again, plateaued again, Saturday, 243. The average though is 244. So now they're down a total 4.3 pounds from the first week. Still looking really good. Week 4, they're 242, so they come in, they're a pound down. Now they have some momentum going. Typically within 3 weeks, you kind of have your momentum. Hopefully you've been following some type of structure with your eating, you've been listening and following those things, so things are kind of moving in the right direction, the gym is going well. Wednesday, they're 240, and then Saturday, they're 239, and the average comes out to be 240.3. So after that 4 weeks or that month, they lost a total of 8 pounds total. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot of weight, but again, like I said, losing around 1% of total body weight per week, 1 to 2%, is typically good for most people, because either it's too much of an extreme loss, or it's not sustainable, or you start dipping into burning up muscle, which you're trying to preserve. But if you look at this from a training cycle, which is typically 12 to 16 weeks, if you're losing on average every 4 weeks 8 pounds, that's 24 pounds lost, up to 32 pounds lost. Now, obviously, this is generalized. For some people, that first week they can plateau. Some people I'll see that they gain weight, and sometimes that's due to inflammation. That may be due to making changes to your diet and you adjusting to working out. Sometimes we have some bit of inconsistencies, but the point here of this is that a lot of times I believe people have trouble with the scale because they don't have any structure with how they take their weight. So they may weigh in on Monday, weigh in on Wednesday, and then they don't like the number that they see on the scale, and they don't hop back on the scale for another week. And the point of the scale, like anything else, is supposed to create structure around what you're doing, right? It's giving you back feedback to what's working and what's not working, and where do we need to make adjustments. So if you don't have any structure with what you're doing and you're just hopping on it randomly, how do you know what's working and what's not working? And the goal should never be to lose maximum amount of weight as fast as possible, because again, like, you want to preserve the muscle mass that you do have, and not lose that, because that plays into your metabolism, that plays into just your overall structure, how your body looks, and just your overall energy throughout the day. Because the more muscle mass you have, the more calories you burn, which means the more food you can eat, which means the more energy you can have. So this is just a framework that I learned. Obviously, there's other ways to do this. Some people get on the scale every day, but I found that this works very well for a lot of people. So if you found value in that, try this out. Like I said, think in terms of a training cycle, not just as fast as possible or within the first 4 weeks trying to lose 30, 40 pounds. Now, is that possible? Have people lost more weight than that? Absolutely. But typically a training cycle, this is very great weight loss. And think about that in terms of 6 months, what that would look like, or a year. So you want to be able to sustain this. So I hope you found value. Try it out. Let me know how it goes. Peace out.